So, hello and welcome to this new year and to this group, Lightworker Awakening and Empowerment Service. And we are so grateful to have you with us. I see a lot of faces, I know, and some new ones. We always love seeing the new ones and the ones who are already here from before. Welcome, Crystal from Utah. My name is Dr. and Reverend Darren Starwin, and I'm happy to be called Darren. And would you like to introduce who you are?
I'm Karen LaPuma.
Yeah, and Karen is an oracle and a writer. She's written quite a few books about consciousness and healing and the inner space. And she's going to be a guest presenter and talking a little bit later about embodied radiance. Hopefully not just talking about it, but sharing it so we can all, be in this. So if you want to step into your own embodied radiance now, this would be a great time. So it's been a wild time already. At the beginning of this year, we had this major storm that hit this area yesterday. But it actually, so one very interesting thing that happened was that we had a meeting last night for members of the Bridge to Mastery, which is a school that I lead, on Zoom, and the power was going on and off, like every few minutes. And it was like, we had 10 people needed to be on this. How are we going to do this? And I just remembered that we are here all working with universal divine energy, and that is what's really sponsoring this whole world. So I basically, when I just tuned into that universal energy, we're going to talk about that tonight. That's the theme of tonight's presentation and group. And just realize that I am a vehicle for this energy, which is making the storm be here, making this planet be here, making everything be here. And that as people came on, I asked everybody to join me in being a conduit for universal source energy, and to basically just intend to stabilize the electrical grid. And immediately it just stabilized. We had an hour and 20-minute group with no hitches, everything stayed on. And then not too long after the group ended, the power completely went out. And we had no power all night and well into today. So it was kind of like one more amazing demonstration of the power of a conscious group. So that's what we have here tonight also. So one thing that happens in this group is energy transmissions, yours and ours. That basically means just being yourself and sharing the vibration that you feel in your body. You can just do it by just sitting there and radiating it. You can also do it by sharing. There'll be time later in this group for anybody who here that wants to share something would have that opportunity. So the format, for anybody new, the format of this Lightworker meeting is that we have this introduction, then I'm going to mute everybody, and we'll have a period of time where myself and Karen will do some sharing about the teaching tonight and about, well, she has a somewhat different one than me, and lead a guided meditation, which is experiential. It's all about actually experiencing something, not just hearing ideas about something. That would be boring, just to sit and hear ideas about consciousness or New Age or anything like that. This is to have an experience and for all of us to amplify this through our love and our presence. And so these groups happen every other week. The next one will be 2 weeks from tonight. And another thing that happens regularly is every Friday at 12 noon Pacific time, and you can figure out what that would be for you. That's 3 o'clock Eastern time. It's not a meeting, but what it is, it's a time where we request anybody who cares about global healing to stop what they're doing for anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes and simply focus on planetary healing. Focus on seeing a beautiful light and cooperation and justice and freedom, embodying around this planet and becoming the reality of the human race. Any way that you see it, however your vision is, what's coming up next week is the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King, and he was famous for saying, "I have a dream." He had a vision, and that vision. He wasn't a great organizer. He wasn't a great financier. I mean, I've heard that he wasn't a great at all these other things. But what he was great at was having an amazing vision and bringing through his transmission, and people really feeling it and being moved by it. And so other people did those other things for him. So in the spirit of Dr. King, we also have, our dreams and our transmissions to bring through, and that's why we're here tonight. And so if you want to join us tomorrow at 12 noon Pacific time, you don't have to log into Zoom, you don't have to go on a call, you just do it. You just simply, at that time, stop what you're doing for, like I say, 5 to 15 minutes. We'll do it for 15 minutes. Just send love to planet Earth and to all the life on it. So we invite you to be part of that too. And it feels amazing because you can feel all the other people with us doing that.
I can't see.
So I'm going to go ahead and mute now so we don't have noise in the background.
Love you.
Well, even though we're muting here, what we totally welcome you to do anytime you want is go to Zoom, go to the chat and say, here's what I'm feeling, here's what I'm getting, here's a quote, here's something I'm experiencing. So you're welcome to do it anytime during this. So this new year, it really is new. I mean, for us, since literally New Year's Eve, we've been feeling a different energy. And when Karen shares, you'll hear from how she's experiencing it. But it really does feel like a different level. And it's interesting how it actually came in on New Year's Eve and has just continued. And the way I'd express it is that I'm more aware of the radiance, like the radiance of the divine as a tangible kind of feelable thing. Like if I had a knife, I could cut it, if it was like a loaf of bread, it's that tangible. Of course, it's unfortunately, or for real, my own thoughts and my own issues and things like that are also tangible. So it always comes down to a choice. But it feels like it's easier to choose to be in this divine radiance because it's just like it's gone up a few notches, or however you'd want to put it like that. And if anyone else has felt that, I'd love to see you go to the chat and say what that's been like for you, or wait till later when it's your turn to share, because we want to hear how this is for other people. It really is a new time. And so when we were doing some channeling and some spiritual work on New Year's Eve, we were asking, like, kind of what's our marching orders for this new year? How can we serve? How can we make a difference? And what came in really strong, it's all about your body. It's not about like some high experience that's out here somewhere, or some altered state that feels, you get blissed out in, or something. I mean, those are all fine. But what I'm getting is that it's all about how much you can bring this, the being you are, into your physical body, and especially the lower chakras. I think probably everybody here knows what chakras are. They're the energy centers in the body that are representations of your consciousness and different aspects of your glands and your hormones and different parts of your body and your emotions. And so people who are spiritually oriented, who are interested in consciousness, tend to develop, like, their brain, their third eye, their visionary abilities, tend to open their heart. And these are beautiful things. This is what we've been hearing since the 1960s, and of course, going back forever. But it often leaves a gap in a lot of us. It leaves this feeling of a gap, like, yeah, I feel all these beautiful energies, or I'm aware of them, but they come and go. And then there's so much drama and so much, like stress that just keeps dragging me down and feeling overwhelmed. And it's easy to feel overwhelmed because there is so much going on right now from so many different directions. And what can anchor you so you can feel grounded and steady and joyful is when you bring this consciousness, this higher consciousness, into the lower chakras that deal with, your physical body, your sense of survival, your generative energies, your power. And so we're going to take you through a few very simple exercises tonight to help with that. So it's good just to start with putting the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth, slightly behind your two front upper teeth. That's called the master hookup. And just totally radically accept yourself, whatever you're feeling, positive, negative, anywhere in between. Just love and accept yourself exactly as it is, and just intend to connect with this core of your own being. So when you put your tongue in that position, it's called the master hookup, and it just connects all the energy in your body. And then breathe deeply into your lower abdomen. If you haven't had any water recently, it'd be a really good time to have a drink of water. This is certainly something that will help a great deal. Now, whatever you've been thinking about all day, whatever has been occupying you, wherever you've sent your energy out to, just say, I call all my energy back into my own body right now. Anything that's stayed outside of me, I call it all back into my own body right now. And then take a breath in. As you breathe out, send some of that energy down into Mother Earth. Feel that grounding, nurturing, cool, moist, whatever you want to feel, feeling of the earth. It's all the crystals in the earth, all the different energies of the earth, the life that is just oozing out of the earth in so many different ways. And if you feel a kinship with some kind of higher consciousness, like the Christ energy, or the Divine Mother energy, Sophia, anything like that, you can intend to link with those higher consciousness and invite that to come in and bless yourself in this group. And then choose loving presence. We can always attune to the station of love, Love, WLOVE. It's always that choice. And for me, it's a choice that I just keep intending to make throughout the day, going from whatever my little thoughts and agendas and stresses back to the love channel. And we can do that. Now, for those of you who have been with us before, you've heard those foundational practices many times. We're going to add another element tonight, and that's connecting with universal source energy. So there's a very simple way to do that. And that's you take your left palm of your left hand, and kind of cup it with your fingers together, like you're creating a receiving bowl, like if you're a part of the Dish Network, bringing in the TV stations. But we're just not TV. This is divine energies. And then you could place that down on your left knee or any other place that's comfortable. That's usually an easy place. Palm up. Then your right hand, there's a lot of things you could do with that. One of the simplest things is just put it palm down on your right knee. So left palm up, cupped on your left knee, and right palm down on your right knee. You could also take your right hand and put it on some part of your body that you feel needs some energy and rejuvenation. That's also another option. And now just know that you are a transceiver for this universal cosmic life energy that makes everything in the universe be what it is. It's the thing that brought the storm in. It's what took the storm out and everything else. So you can affirm that through your own intention by saying, I am one with universal life energy. There's a great power in the spoken word. I am one with universal life energy. And if you're sensitive and you pay attention, you put your attention on your left palm, it's very likely you'll feel a tingling there or an energy there. You can further affirm this by saying, I am one with universal life energy. It is flowing through me now. I receive it. I accept it. I allow it to have its way with me. Whatever you feel about that. I mean, it's already having its way with you because it's making you alive and giving you your breath and your heartbeat and everything. When your mind gets this, that this is the case and accepts it, it's a beautiful experience. And just tune into your own body. Just see, is there any area in your own body that feels like it needs some more energy, needs some more vitality, or some healing, however you put it. And you could take your right hand and just put it over that part of your body, if you're drawn to something like that. If there's somebody else you want to bring healing to, you could literally just put your hand out in front of you and just imagine that person in front of you and radiate healing to that other person. Or you could radiate it to this whole group. It's whatever you're guided to do. So what this is really about is, are you running your life on your own personal energy? Or are you running it on universal energy? That's what's being offered to us in this new year, like an easier way to choose to, because if I run my life on my own energy, there's a lot of ups and a lot of downs. And I'm, dealing with whatever. I mean, I'm a pretty healthy guy, but I have my little issues and things like that I'm, going through and everything like that. When I allow universal energy to run me, it's no longer my limited energy, my personal energy. It's source. I told you we had this, for anybody here earlier, we had an amazing demonstration last night where literally the electrical grid stabilized during a meeting when everybody joined together and seeing universal energy stabilizing the grid. It was uncanny. You can use it to help grow crops. If you're gardening in your backyard, you can bring in universal energy to make the plants grow beautifully, kind of like what they did in Findhorn. Or you could use it to help you in your work, to be a better healer or a better business person, or to close the next sale if you're a salesperson, whatever it is that you're doing, to be a better mother. So now there's one of the chakras I want to talk about, and there's a chakra behind your navel called the navel chakra, or it's also called Kungun, which is Kungun. And this chakra has to do with the vitality and power in your body. So one thing we were working on last night was putting our right hand over the belly button, left hand up, and receiving this universal energy into this major energy center in the body. So if you want to go with me on that, what I'm going to do is put on a little bit of music and do a short guided practice to go deeper on that.
Okay.
If you wish, you can intend that every hair on your body is like a little antenna receiving this divine energy. You bring it into your physical body. Every nerve in your body is like a transducer receiving this universal energy. You're rejuvenating your body from this energy. Your power of intention is incredibly powerful. Just know that you deserve this. You deserve to be rejuvenated this new year. You don't have to do this. This is not about doing. It's about allowing, receiving. It really helps me to feel the gratitude that it's really this simple. That with all the challenges and issues I've had throughout my life, that I can relax and receive this divine radiance and know that it is my own true self and your own true self. Not only is it my own true self, but I can literally, you can literally make the world a better place by embodying this radiance and being willing to share it any way you're guided to do. So, if you go back from your belly button about 3 to 4 inches, I'm not sure what that is in the metric system, but that's about about 6 or 7 centimeters. Anyway, about halfway between your belly button and the lumbar spine behind that. Imagine a golden ball of light in that area. It's about the size of your own fist. And it's glowing with golden light. If you prefer a different color, that's fine. Just follow your own inner guidance. And as you breathe in this universal source energy, imagine that there's a huge, kind of like a huge egg of energy around your body. Like if you put your arms out to the sides, it would go about that far out. It would be above your head and below your feet. It also extends into the earth. And this egg of energy around your body is your cosmic chakra. It's your divine, universal self. You've always had it. Doesn't matter whether you believe it or it's part of your belief system or not. You've always been this. But you've forgotten. We all have. And so you can breathe spherically from all directions, above, below, diagonally, every direction. Breathe in this cosmic egg into that chakra behind your navel. Left palm up, if you want to continue with that. Just see it charging up with divine energy, the center of your body. I am receiving universal light energy. I am universal. I'm one with universal energy. I'm being rejuvenated by universal source energy. This chakra behind your navel is the center of rejuvenation. I come from a background of Chinese medicine, and Chinese medicine talks about the qi. Qi is vital energy. And jing, which is the generative power in the body, also the sexual energy in the body, like the power that makes a child grow and mature, that's jing. And it's what makes us age and decline when we run low on it. So, you don't have to either slow that down or modify it by taking your universal energy, building the jing in this sacred chakra behind our navel. I invite you to create an intention for this new year that's full of rejuvenation, empowerment, being your true self in your body. Bringing out your superpowers and sharing your gift with the world, sharing your gift more than you have before, because that's what's needed now for us to get in touch with these superpowers inside of us and share them more widely, not be timid and afraid and shy and self-conscious and self-doubting. Those are the pretender voices of the old way. The slave self has all that programmed stuff. Step out of the slave self. I am this divine essence. What did you say?
Yes.
Okay. So now Karen's going to share.
Okay. I need this hand.
I can hold it.
Okay. I want to start with a quote. My mentor, Jean Houston, said, "This is the most important time in history. We are being called to claim our right role, our higher destiny, and our deeper goals. We have the capacity to harvest the fruits of our human genius. The challenge of our times calls us to reach up and collect with a larger story so we can tap into our potential and transform our world. We have been using a small portion of our magnificent gifts and forget all too often that we were born to accomplish miracles." Are you living your dream? What is your dream? What does it look like? How would you feel if you had this dream? What parts of you would you leave behind? What's standing in the way? So now keep this energy flowing, the radiant energy. I have been cupping my lower chakras and it's buzzing inside. Feel that energy grounded. For many months, I was bringing it into my heart. And I was feeling it in my heart. And I was blissed out, but I wasn't grounded. I wasn't feeling the power inside me.
So you ready to turn that sound off?
Is it mine?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay, thank you.
So it is so important to be embodied in this power of within. So to bring it into the left arm, into the heart, and then down into the all four lower chakras, and the heart is the bridge. And this navel chakra is the key to magic and manifesting. And manifesting the magic within us, the vision, we have an entelechy or a blueprint that is in our being, and that is our optimal self. And this is what we're calling this sense. I feel like we have found the secret to life, the missing piece of the puzzle, because with this co-creation, we have all the resources available to us. It is embodying this radiance is the divine force that we truly are. We are divine children. And the embodiment is the bringing into manifestation this divine force. I have been working for decades on an archetype called the goddess warrior on the hero's journey. And radiance is the goddess. The warrior is embodiment. It's like the answer to this larger story that Jean Houston tells us about. So a goddess is to love and to allow and to accept what is. It's opening your heart and that radiant love that comes through. We call upon us. This is the universe. We're in a co-creation. We influence the universe and the universe influences us. So feel this energy coming in, and you are in a co-creation with the divine, and empower your vision. Because with that empowerment of that vision, you have the resources and the energy to bring it into form. So, what stands in the way? For me, it's being small, thinking small, not feeling secure in my conditioning or feeling worthy. Because when I was a little one in the family, and why we have this imprint in us, it is just a veil that covers this divine nature that is so magnificent and full of creative power, love and power in the truest sense. So what is yours? Let it go as though you're taking off a scarf. Let it go and let the divine empower your vision. Think about it. Write about it. Empower it. We can have what we want. This realization of this universal co-creation is the most powerful thing I've found. He gave it to me. He read something and I said, this is it. It's like many years ago, I felt like we learned we create our own reality. That speaks, I read in the 70s. And we do create our own reality. That is a powerful knowing. And this is a powerful knowing that we create what we envision as envisioned, so appears, that we are interdependent, co-horizing with this universe of energy. We create our own reality, and we are in a co-creation with the divine. So bring this energy into your co-creation. Bring it into visualize. We write in our book, a book every day. Every day, the visions we want to manifest, because we're creating, whether consciously or unconsciously. So consciously bring this energy in and empower your visions and your true blueprint of who you are. Because if you have the desire for it, it's what's proving. It's the call to greatness. This is the answer. So I ask you to feel it in your being. Hear the call. I am a divine being. I'm a goddess warrior on the healing journey, magnetically creating. And the words don't mean anything. It's the symbol behind them. I am love and present. I am accountable. I am compassionate. I have a divine spark within me. I am willing and have worthy goals. This is what it takes. And to separate from the past, we can do it. Welcome aboard.
Wow, thank you. I could really feel that energy coming through, and it's beautiful.
Okay.
The message is perfect for the new year. Just bask in that energy for a moment that Karen brought in. Strong. We are a sacred community. These aren't just ideas. This is something that we are We are co-create. That's such an amazing phrase, co-creating with the divine. That's such a great phrase because it's so true. So one of the things that we can co-create with the divine is healing. And after working with clients and groups for such a long time, it's become clear to me that there's 9 gateways to transforming yourself into a master healer and really fulfilling what that co-creation is for you. And next week, I created a webinar called The 9 Gateways to being a master healer, creating extraordinary results. And we're going to have it next week, next Wednesday evening. So you'll get an email notification about it. And in fact, the invitation you got today for this should have it in there also. So if you're interested in healing and taking whatever you're doing with any type of medical or healing or coaching or helping other people on any level to that higher quantum level, that's what's going to be shared in that webinar. And actually, I'm having it twice next week, once on Wednesday evening at 5:30 Pacific time and once on Saturday morning, the 14th. That's Wednesday the 12th, or the 11th, I believe. And then once on the Saturday morning, the 14th at 9 a.m. And another thing that's going to be happening next is that there's a whole online thing called I forget what it's called actually, but it's this whole like big sharing based on Martin Luther King's birthday next weekend. That's going to have people from all over the world involved in that. I'm also going to be speaking and sharing at that one, and quite a lot of other people that have tremendous amount to share about spirituality and social justice and community building and so many things. So I'll make sure I send you when the notice about how you can know about that if you're interested in being part of that. A lot of music's going to be at it as well. So a couple of announcements, and then we will go into opening this up to shares from you. One is that if you'd like to support this ministry we're doing here with this work, you can make a donation by going to www.lightworkerministry.com/donate. And any amount is appreciated if you feel like you'd like to help us continue to put this out and expand it. Because really my mission is to bring this to more people and to do outreach so people who are light workers can find community with each other and come together for how we can collaborate to create much bigger outcomes in the world and touch way more people. So that's what that really goes for. And then for anybody interested in this healing, I recommend you come to my webinar. You'll learn a whole lot more about it. And then starting next month, February 2nd, there's going to be a master course, a 14-week training for people that are interested in doing this professionally and really being a quantum healer and having really truly extraordinary results. So we're going to now open this up. I'm going to turn the music off and turn it down. Easier to hear that way. And so I welcome anyone here. Okay, so I welcome anyone here to unmute yourself and speak. And then we have a few guidelines about sharing in this group. And that is that whenever you share, just say your name and just talk about your own experience in present time, because that's what really holds this frequency the best. Others, not so much things that you read in a book or ideas that you're following or things like that, but just here's what I'm experiencing now, here's what I'm inspired by, or here's what I'm going through. It doesn't even have to be a positive thing, but just being present and sharing yourself in some way is really beautiful. So it's available now for anyone who would like to share something. We'd love to hear from you. I'll give you a little hint, is that in a group like this, when you say something to the group, you get a tremendous blessing. First of all, because it's like you're doing an act of service. You're sharing yourself with a group of light workers, and that is, you feel, a lot of healing, a lot of opening, and then for many people, just it's kind of like breaking through some kind of threshold that's held them back in the past. Like, they always say, like, a terrorist attack or a comet hitting the earth is not as terrifying as speaking in a group. So you break that threshold by simply just saying something. There's a lot of power in that.
Well, I'm Rita, and I wanted to say I was there last night, so I can totally say that was an amazing experience. And also here, the winds were so terrible, but during the entire thing, when we did that, the winds all slowed down because we were supposed to have worse than we had in New Year's Eve, which was a power loss from about 8 o'clock till midday the next day. So tonight I felt very energized again and really coming back to that point, which I call through what I do, the pearl of consciousness. And we really vibrated that tonight, that energy that helps you to really guides you to be connected with source. And I think that's where the healing and all of the connection comes from. So thank you again for both of you, Aaron and Karen.
Well, thanks so much for sharing, Rita. I'm glad that it was less onerous than it could have been for you in Sacramento.
It was much worse on New Year's than it was on, all the things that they told us and frightened us with didn't really manifest. It became very, it rained, the wind came up and immediately came down when we were in session together, and never really picked up in a very big way since, much milder, much gentler than at all anticipated.
That's so interesting because all the news here in Marin County was saying this is going to be one of the hugest storms, and and that it's going to make a direct hit on Marin and Sonoma County, and it's going to do all, and it did knock the power out for a while, but very little storm happened there. So yeah. Interesting.
They told us this was going to be worse than the New Year's, and not at all. It was a blessing because there are a lot of flooded areas in the Delta, especially toward the Delta, and a lot of people that are cut off. But, the mildness of this passing is allowing for that to be repaired and the earth to, absorb. So, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. Life is full of reprieves, renewals, and resurrections.
I had a quick question.
Yeah. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Susie.
Hi, Susie.
Sometimes when I attended your recorded webinar that Chris had hosted for the fascial stretch or Frederick stretch.
Right.
Sometimes this happens to me when I meditate. It almost feels like I'm getting knocked deeper, and then my eyes will start kind of feeling like they're twitching and moving rapidly as my eyes are closed. Mm-hmm. And I've always wondered what that means or what that is. And it's kind of I get really uncomfortable when it happens, and I'm not sure how to react to it. I don't know if I should accept it and, try to go deeper into it or what that is.
So it's uncomfortable when that happens?
I'm just unsure. I'm uncertain of, should I allow it to go further?
Well, it's something that wants to release in you. And there's several possibilities. I mean, it could be some emotion that wants to be expressed more in you, because, the eyes have a lot to do with the emotion.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. And it's also, we talked today about these grounding, the lower chakras. And I feel like if you work with that, like some of the things we talked about, and we'll talk more on the webinar next week as well, like that it may like create a balance between your upper and lower body where it may reduce that.
Okay.
Do you have any sense of it being like any feelings that come up when you're having that?
It's almost like I want to, but then I feel like it's something that's starting to become forced on my physical, like I'm forcing it physically versus letting it happen energetically, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I just can't quite get there. Sometimes I'll get there and it'll be like a little flash and then it'll go away. Where I kind of get into this deeper place of, I guess, relaxation or focus or consciousness. But I've just always wondered what that is. So,
Well, thanks for speaking that. I mean, you're in some kind of process of unwinding old programming and old patterning, and that has something to do with it. And so it's good to trust whatever is happening with your body, love your body, and really like allow and unwinding is a word that's been used a lot, like since the 70s for certain kinds of body work and things like that, like where you work on someone and then their body goes through different like spontaneous movements. Those are called kriyas in India, but like your body's releasing stuff, and then they always encourage just let it happen, let it go, and then but keep the process going so it can complete at some point. Which,
okay.
that is, yeah.
Thank you. It was a beautiful meditation and really wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being part of it. Thanks for showing up.
Hi, I'll speak next if that's
Yes.
okay.
Sure, just say your name and go ahead and speak.
Sure. I'm Crystal. This is my first time attending one of your gatherings here on Zoom. So I just wanted to express my gratitude for your offerings and just talk a little bit about what came up for me tonight during meditation. I had never tapped into universal energy like that. It was a new thing for me. And it was absolutely beautiful. I was focusing on my higher chakras because lately I've been experiencing some stuff mentally, like some brain fog. I'm having trouble focusing at work, some things like that. And so I was hoping to really help heal myself up here, and I got really warm and fuzzy, and then my brain did that like beautiful thing where it transcends and you just feel higher, and everything turned pink, and it was just the most beautiful, uplifting experience, and it really brought a lot of peace to my heart and some clarity to my mind. So I just wanted to express my gratitude and let you know I will be using that practice more regularly now that I know it is available to me.
Well, thanks for just diving in and taking it for a test drive, Crystal.
Yeah, absolutely. It was beautiful.
Yeah. Each of us is in this very intimate process of co-creating with the divine, and we're co-creating our own, like going through this transforming thing. One of the analogies from nature is a little worm called a caterpillar spinning some fibers around itself called a chrysalis, and then it collapses into this mush that they call imaginal cells. That you cut open the chrysalis, you just see like a mush. And then somehow, like in less than 14 days, a butterfly comes out and starts flying around, just jazzing everyone with incredible beauty. Little children go, "Oh, wow, look at that." And even adults who aren't too jaded. So that's what we're all going through. We're all in this amazing transformative process. And Crystal, what you just expressed, is totally part of that. And what Susie also expressed, like we're all going through this transformative process, and we can't control it. It's best not to try to control it. And being in groups like this, where we're intending to hold the quantum field and be with us, are so helpful. It's a safe space, and it just supports you in turning into your own butterfly. in human terms, from Harry Potter, going from being a muggle into being a magical person. Like we're really in that process. Anybody else want to share something? We got a few more minutes. It's fun to share.
This is Lorna. Oh,
Yeah, Lorna, hi.
hi. Yeah, I'm glad of what you just said because I'm mush. You're looking at mush right now. And it's just kind of affirming to know that I'll be a butterfly at some point because the mush is strange and uncomfortable, especially for a control freak like me. So I feel surrendered to it, but it's very strange. Very strange. I don't know who I am.
Yeah.
We're being demanded to upgrade our identity. The old self isn't working anymore.
That's for
Like
sure.
the small self, we have to see ourselves in a new way. So this is undo the conditioning, upgrade the body, update the identity, and unfold the true self.
May the old identity rest in peace. So Lorna, thanks for having the courage just to speak that in a group. See, I know that like it's really true. Like speaking up in a group can be so terrifying. I mean, it used to be that way for me. Obviously, it's not so much anymore. Now I love talking, but I remember, not only being afraid to speak, but even be afraid to even meet people's eyes in a group. I mean, that's how paranoid I was when I was young, in groups and stuff. But it changed. Well, I'm slightly more butterfly-like than I was then. But the thing is, acknowledge where you are because this is such a term. Yeah, being mush is totally okay because scientists call that mush imaginal cells. It means you can imagine whatever you. It's they call it that because somehow there's a divine spark that's imagining that mush to turn into the butterfly. So, what do you want to imagine, Lorna, for yourself this new year from the mush?
Well, I know I want to break free from this very small place where I'm living. I have an awareness that I'm much larger than I'm living, but I'm not there yet. I'm still fretting, let's say, or anxious sometimes, affected by storms and internet going out and all sorts of shit that's flying. Yeah, I'd like to be floating above it, but also not only just floating above it, but very present at the same time. So
often the crystals is called the void. You feel like you're in this nothingness, but it is extremely pregnant, full of potential.
That's right, Lorna. Even people our age can get pregnant.
even men, huh?
Even men, that's right. We have a womb chakra also, as Diana explained here last month.
Yeah.
We can develop.
Well, it's an exciting time. At least I feel that way in my more optimistic moments.
No, so one thing to remember is that, we idealize or, honor these great spiritual masters like Jesus and Buddha and Kuan Yin and Martin Luther King and these people but they all went through hell to be who they were. They had to face so many demons and so much. I mean, the story, like Buddha had to sit under this tree and have all the demons scare the crap out of him and have to resist that. And then all these other ones try to make him vain. And then Jesus sat in the desert for 40 days being tormented. I mean, these are, whether those stories are true or not, they're analogies to what we all have to go through. We have to face our shit. We have to embrace our shadow with great courage and love and keep bringing our light of our radiance to our own shadow. And this is not for the faint of heart, but I don't think anything on this planet is for the faint of heart anyway. So, why not? So, anybody else want to share something?
Desiree,
I'd love to go with you.
I would definitely say that I'm definitely in the void as well. There's no doubt. I can feel it. It feels like I've been in the void for 7 years, but it's really intense now. So hopefully there's light at the end of this tunnel because, mush is a really good analogy, Lorna. Beautiful analogy. A nice lump of mush.
Well, I just made up a jingle.
No jingles, Darren, none.
Okay. Don't just go and be annoyed. Just remember, don't avoid the void.
Ah,
That's good.
Okay. Yeah, that's my like freestyle rapping here.
oh boy.
Don't avoid the void. So Desiree, we love you and support you because you're an amazing healer and you're going through the same process all these other great masters have, so you can bring it out to the world, and totally support you in that.
Yeah, I definitely feel like hell is a place that I have visited and seen, and demons and all the whole 9 yards. So I think I should stop complaining and enjoy the lump that I am at this point.
Yeah. You're extremely blessed, even with all that.
It's lack of patience.
It's also a lot to do with community. Like I think there was an old paradigm in the Piscean age of being a martyr. That was one of the old paradigms. And there was another one of like the solitary person going in a cave and focusing, or in a monastery, or, whatever it is. I don't think that's where it's at anymore. I mean, you can do that if you want, but when we're in sacred community, it lightens it up for everybody. I mean, it's not just a group like this, but the whole planet. I mean, that's what's going to save us from this extremely perilous position we're in as a human race on this planet, is when we create this, Martin Luther King called it the beloved community, that like participate in it more often and share it more often, and be part of it more often. So I mean, I'm into it, creating as much as I can, being in it. So however heavy it is for any of us, it does lighten it up when you share with other light workers. It's an invitation. That's why we keep doing these meetings. That's why Lightworker Ministry exists. Yeah. We have time for one more share if anyone is pregnant with a share.
Yes. I would like to share.
Yes, please.
Lisa, thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't avoid the void. It doesn't work. I have tried 77 years and I still haven't come over the void. I was in my mother's womb when the Nagasaki Hiroshima bombs fell.
Wow.
And I was split all over the place. And I have been trying to gather the pieces together since. And 77 years later, I still haven't found all the pieces. So when Lorna shared your share, I totally agreed with you. And also this is talking. So I'm so grateful that I found you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm grateful that we're connected too, Lisa. Lisa lives in Finland.
Yes.
Darren, I'm thinking sometime you could bring your guitar and sing Zumbaya, because it's such a blessing, this Zoom, how it unites us.
Yeah.
Who would have thought, who would have guessed how the energy can travel through the internet? It's just so extraordinary.
Yeah, well, I'll take you up on that. I'll do that at one of the upcoming events. We do have some songs that are very appropriate for this.
And that would be wonderful. And you brought us into the Zoom age before we had COVID, before we were all locked down, and I'm very grateful for that. You saw that all early.
Yeah, we don't have to wait to be locked down.
Nope.
No, it takes a special setup for that.
Okay.
But anyway, well, Well, this is so thank you for everybody who's been sharing. And it feels so much more open and flowing. I mean, I love to talk, and Karen and I, did our best to share our transmission. And yet when we get more people in the community share, it just more joyful. Even when people say difficulties, I mean, that's fine in this group. It's fine to say what you're doing, because we're all having difficulties. I mean, who are we kidding anyway? Trying to look, humans always want to look good to everybody else and show your best side. Well, here you can let it all hang out. I mean, I don't mean just like blab a lot of negativity, but just say, here's what I'm feeling, because other people can relate. You can see how Lorna said something, and then a lot of other people were touched and felt they could come out of the closet and share. So that is definitely part of our sacred community, not just saying positive, oh, how beautiful it all is and how blissful. That used to drive me crazy back in the 1970s when I first started spending time in spiritual groups. Most people who shared, they always said, we're all so loving and blissful, aren't we? And I heard all these kind of things. I was going, I'm not feeling that way. So sometimes when people just say how it really is, it's just as uplifting as somebody that says it's blissful. Nothing wrong with bliss, though. I mean, I'm not knocking bliss, believe me. Okay, so we're going to have a group healing now. What is healing anyway? It's a word that you hear so much. Well, healing comes from German and English, Old German and Old English words that mean wholeness. And just even that the word healing exists in our language shows that we're not so whole. We are in what can rightfully be called a fallen state of the human race. We've fallen to this extreme. This seems normal. Like there's the old story that if you take a frog and throw it into boiling water, it'll immediately jump out. But if you put a frog into cool water and just gradually turn up the heat, it'll just stay there and cook to death. And that's what's happening to the human race. So many outrageously crazy, cruel, violent, unjust things keep happening that eventually you just sort of go, well, I guess this is the way it is. I'm just going to adapt to it. But it's not the way it may seem like it's the way it is, but we have the power to change this planet. I know that as truly as the fact that I can feel myself hitting my head, that we have the power to change this planet. I mean, just like that group last night was able to stabilize the power grid so we could have that meeting. And people in Australia were able to, not just people all over the world were able to stop the worst wildfires in the history of Australia, maybe the planet, a few years ago when we all prayed and visualized together. And the heaviest rains in 30 years fell right after those visualizations, within 10 days after all those visualizations. And over and over and over, we're seeing this. And so we do have this power. So I welcome you to come 12 noon tomorrow, not come, but just at 12 noon Pacific time tomorrow, which will be 3 p.m. Eastern time. Take a few minutes for Mother Earth, just to stop and to visualize her and love all life on Earth. And if you want to go deeper into this quantum healing space, I have a lot of opportunities coming up, including free webinars and then actual training, so you can do this professionally and be a magical, miracle worker. I use that word accurately, not as a hyperbole. I'm not going to take the time now, but in the meeting last night, I shared 2 recent clients I worked with just over the last 10 days. You couldn't use no other word but miracle, extreme, suffering and being incapacitated with it, having tremendous breakthroughs and changes. And again, it's because I'm co-creating with the divine. The divine's doing it, but I have the privilege of holding the space and being part of it, and you do too. So come back and join us and look into Lightworker ministry and our programs if that is something that calls to you. So now, for this healing part, becoming more whole and becoming less of a fallen human being and more of just the divine co-creative beings that we were meant to be. What you can do is just simply, if there's anything you need healing for, like any physical symptom, any emotional imbalance, anything that's stressing you out, like feelings of fatigue, anxiety, it could be, anything that, especially something that you're aware of now. Maybe after all this beautiful meditation, you're not as aware of it, but something that has been recent for you, so you can see what the difference is. Just simply identify it to yourself. Here's what, and just simply declare to the universe, I request and choose to accept healing of the quantum field for this issue. So I'm just going to be quiet for a moment, take a moment to do that. And if you don't have anything you need healing for, we would love you just to hold the space and radiate your blessings. Take advantage if you do. Now, one thing that helps with this is that once you've identified an issue or pain or symptom that you like healing for or life experience, give it a rating of 1 to 10. 10 being really, really bad, the worst, and 1 being almost nothing. And then 5 or 6 would be coming somewhere in between that. The reason I'm asking you to do that is because sometimes people experience shifts right during these calls. Sometimes it may take more time, but many, many times people have noticed their symptom went from an 8 or 9 down to a 3, 4, 5, 1, whatever it is. We've heard that many times. So no expectations, but it's just useful to validate this to your left brain. This thing about quantum healing. So I'm thinking of 2 myself. One of them I'd say is like an 8, and the other one is a 5. You can accept any healing, Karen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you got something. Okay. All right. So now that you've made that request to co-create with the divine, I recommend you keep your left palm up so you can let universal energy heal you and this beautiful group energy work with you. I am one with universal source energy flowing through me now. Universal source energy is restoring this part of my body or mind that I need healing for. And I'm saying yes to it. I love myself enough to allow universal source energy to bring healing and regeneration to this aspect of my experience. I'm willing to let go of my agendas for continuing to suffer. That's right, we have agendas for continuing to suffer. There's payoffs for suffering. Some way, and some may be twisted or weird. There's reasons why in some way it serves us. Because maybe it's an excuse not to be all that you can be. Maybe it's, whatever it is. Just some agreement you made with your parents when you were young to be small. An agreement to be the whipping boy or the whipping girl for your family. There's a lot, when I work with clients, there's all these things that we uncover. You can do some of that right now. If you don't necessarily have to identify it. Whatever agendas I have had for continuing to suffer, continuing to be small, continuing to stop my energy from freely and joyfully flowing through my body and mind. And now release it. I am my avatar self, bringing miracle healing to myself and everyone else in this group. When I say I am an avatar, it's not this guy named Darren, it's the divine self that we all have. It's the avatar, it's the Christ, it's whatever word you want to use. I accept the energies of grace to move through my body, my mind, my emotions, my energy fields, my spirit. Nothing to think about, nothing to do, just allowing. Okay, doesn't have to take a lot of time, that's all. You know, quantum healing happens instantaneously. So I'd welcome anybody who wishes, in the last few minutes we have here, to go to the chat and share anything about this experience of the healing field, what it was like for you. Or if you had any change on your scale of 1 to 10, to share what that is. It's fun to do that.
I'll share.
Okay, you could just speak out loud too. That's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. I had an issue that started about a 4 and it's down to about a 2.
Oh, cool. Thank you. And Rita put in the chat, so much lighter. Crystal, thank you for coming on. Go take care of your kitties, and thanks for being with us.
I felt a lot of energy in that. I was yawning, embarrassing here, and I felt really this vibration of this fullness that was quite lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I was sneezing and coughing a while back and feeling really fatigued, and I feel like lovely right now, and my heart's more open and grateful. No symptoms of anything. All right, well, thank you everybody for coming on. Again, just what's coming, a lot of things coming up. So next Wednesday, the 11th, we're going to have this webinar about the 9 quantum keys for producing extraordinary results with clients and for your own personal transformation. And you will get an email, with a link for that. You're welcome to join us. The same webinar will happen Saturday, the 14th at 9 a.m. So it's always different, so it won't be exactly the same, but it'll be a similar theme. And then again, next weekend is this convergence of the Sign Network, and it's all on social medias, and there's like all this music and all these people presenting on all those things. So again, I'll send you some information how you could check that out if you're interested in being part of that. And so much more. And then the master course is coming up February 2nd for those of you that want to really be healers and do it as a business, do it as a profession, and bring it into your work.
And tomorrow at noon.
Great, thank you.
Tomorrow at noon, just stop what you're doing and meditate. You can feel the group powerful.
Yeah, it's very cool.
And for 15 minutes, just visualize this earth healing.
Yeah, beautiful. Even if you can't do 15 minutes, do 1 minute, do anything. Just this tremendous power when we do that together. So let's close by acknowledging the divine. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you. Gong sung, gong sung, gong sung. And that gong sung just means we respect the fact that these amazing light beings are with us, and we dismiss you. Thanks for being here with us.
Blessings and Happy New Year.
Blessed awakening New Year. Right.